Hi, this is Liz Ann here from High Vibes Life, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about revisiting our past trauma for people that have been through childhood abuse and why I actually believe that it can be beneficial. So I'm just going to make this as short as I can. But basically, when I started to embark on a healing journey, I was impressed very deeply that it was going to be extremely difficult. But I was also given another analogy that helped me realize the importance of embarking on this journey. And I was given the analogy of somebody, of the physical body, basically the healing of the physical body, and of somebody that had broken their leg in their formative years, but never sought a doctor to fix that leg, never had that leg set, and how that leg healed itself on its own for the survival of the body. But because of the break was never set properly, that person grew up with a limp or lame, and they were able to go forward with life and pretty much take care of themselves and even have good experiences in life, but they were constantly plagued with pain. Like different times they would have pain from the set not being right, and there were times that they couldn't do what other people could do simply because they had this lameness about them. And so it wasn't until they went to see a doctor and the doctor reset the leg, rebroke the leg and reset it, and allowed it to heal properly, that limp finally went away and the pain finally went away. And the analogy was given to me emotionally, and how I felt like Spirit was showing me that healing from an emotional wound is going to be very difficult, and that when you re-break something, when you reopen something, that the pain of that is actually a lot of times a lot more excruciating than the original break. But then it's set right and it heals right, and in the long run you're going to heal up a lot of other problems, lifelong problems that you have. On an emotional level, this could come out as things such as depression or insecurity, self-loathing. It could come out as eating disorders. It could come out as attention deficit. There's so many things that not healing properly, emotionally properly, can manifest itself later in life. And for me, that became evident when I was in my 40s. It was always there, but I was busy taking care of my children. I didn't want to think about my past. But when I hit my 40s, it was just staring me in the face. I started getting depressed. There were so many things about my life I was really not happy about, even though I felt like I had a blessed life compared to many people around the world. My life was very blessed, but yeah, I felt so unhappy, and I was very much impressed by Spirit that going through the healing journey was going to be an adventure, and it was going to be very difficult. And just like when you get a broken leg, you need to seek a professional to reset that leg for you. You can't just try to reset the leg by yourself. In other words, you don't want to do it alone. And so that was another thing that I had to seek, was a good therapist, in which I looked for somebody that specialized in childhood abuse. So to make sure you get a good therapist, which I'll do in another video, seeking a good therapist. But I just mainly wanted to talk about how, even I promote my web page is about living a high vibes life, because I feel ultimately how I overcame a lot of my depression was through the law of attraction, and becoming more positive and dreaming again, and so many other things. There's so many about the law of attraction, so many things about it that is positive. And most definitely I wished I would have understood it a little bit more even earlier on in my healing journey. But I was where I was. Yet I don't want to come across to people as just this positive Pollyanna that, just smile and have positive thoughts and, think positive thoughts and, everything's just going to be fine, because when people have deep wounds, just like that person that has that broken leg, they can smile and be as positive as they want, and they might get a lot accomplished, and they might feel better than, dragging that leg around and going, oh, I'm lame. However, it's not going to take away the pain of that leg, and it's not going to take away the limp. The only way that is going to be corrected is to go to a doctor, to have them reset it, and to let it heal properly. And that is the significance of going in to our wounds. Number one, it's going to be extremely painful. It was the most racking pain I'd ever remember experiencing. It is opening up all those places within that made you feel like you would, it's just a nobody. It's just, there's no words to describe how painful it is to go back to the abuse and to deal with it and to face the messages that you took on and just to face the pain and to deal with it. It's very, very, very difficult, and you don't want to do it alone. Number one, when you were abused, you were alone. You didn't have, if you still are suffering from your abuse, it's because you did not have anybody back then to soothe your wounds and to help you. You suffered it alone, because pretty much if you had really good support, you would have never suffered much abuse anyways, because somebody would have stepped in and said, hey, that's wrong. It stepped in for you and protected you. So if you suffered through childhood abuse, you did it alone. And so you don't want to go through the healing alone. When you go through the pain alone, this time you don't want to go alone again. Number two, you would never think of going and trying to re-break your own leg and reset it and wrapping it. You just wouldn't do that. You need a professional, somebody that knows the ins and outs of how to set it and knows how to break it. It's just ludicrous to think of it. And you don't want to do that when you are trying to heal of abuse either. You need support. A good therapist, it takes time to build up trust in a therapist. I will tell you that, especially if you've been through abuse. But if you find a good therapist, they will help you understand so much about how abuse affected the way you think, how it's affecting your life now. They will help you. You also will want to have, if you have a friend or somebody that you can tell, I'm going to be healing from some pretty traumatic things, and I'm going to need somebody that I can talk to sometimes that can be neutral and, not feel, that can handle it, I guess. Somebody strong that would want to do that for you and that can handle hearing your stories, because sometimes listening to the stories that people that were abused went through is traumatic to people. And just think of how it was for the one that was abused. So you need support when you go through it, just like when you break a leg. And you're going to need, when you're in the healing process even, sometimes you're not going to be able to take care of yourself. Emotional healing is exhausting, and there's going to be days you're going to be down, and you've got to expect that. So when you go on the therapist is going to help you pace yourself, but when you go on a journey for healing, it is an adventure. It's exciting, it's scary, it's racking, emotionally racking, but it's healing. And ultimately, I was shown that on the other side, I would be so much stronger. And I have overcome so much insecurity, and I have come to understand and see things so much clearer. Oh my word, I couldn't even begin in this video to sit and tell of all the healing and amazing healing that I've experienced by persevering through a healing journey. But I didn't do it alone. I did it with even though I didn't do it alone, it was still so difficult. But you don't want to do it alone, because I had some low times, some very low times through it. There were times that I had so much pain, emotional pain going on. I felt literally like I had pneumonia. And it just felt like somebody had hollowed out my chest and had pulverized it inside. It was just, my heart hurt so much. So it's not easy. And I say kudos to any of you that have the courage to face your past and your shadows and to heal from them, so that you can become a stronger person and you can move forward. Another thing that I felt Spirit showed me was that I didn't have to go through a healing journey. I could just accept the fact that I had this lame walk, and I could go through my life that way if I was satisfied with it. And, but for me, I wasn't satisfied. For me, I was so tired of feeling so insecure, so less than other people, of being around people and coming away just feeling like everything I did and said was stupid and judged and wrong, and that all came from my past and messages that I had taken on. And like my therapist said, if somebody could say, oh, nothing you say is stupid, nothing you say is wrong, oh, you're beautiful, blah blah blah, and it would be done, really there would be no need for therapists. But it takes a lot more than that when you in your formative years have been told things and had a mirror on yourself that was so distorted. It takes more than somebody just coming along as a positive Pollyanna and fixing it and setting it right. Another thing I just want to say is that through it all, you're going to feel depressed, and sometimes you're going to feel isolated, because other people aren't going to understand, because they're going to think that that's exactly what you should do, is just put it behind you, and that you shouldn't be going through this healing journey. So I just want to say that, give yourself a pat on the back. Realize that you're doing a very courageous thing by going through the healing journey. Recognize ahead of time that not everybody's going to be behind you and support you, and be willing just to accept that. Make sure you do have support in place, though, before you start into a healing journey. And there's so much help, so many books out there. I've read so many. I'm going to put a list of books that have helped me in my healing journey on my webpage here within a couple of days. I've just am busy with school right now, so that'll be within a couple days. And I hopefully do a video recording or some kind of write-up on finding a good therapist, and just what therapy is for and what to expect from it. But more than anything, I just wanted to address this one thought, that yes, I think personally revisiting the past in some cases is very healthy, and it's not easy, and it's not the most positive thing you're going to do in life, but it can be very, very healing and empowering. And it's a decision that you have to make, and don't feel bad or that you're a coward. Like, as I say, somebody's courageous because they do. It doesn't mean somebody's a coward if they don't. That's their journey and that's their choice. They don't want to do that this life. They're fine with whatever they're dealing with from their past, or maybe they don't feel like they are dealing with anything, and that's their business. So it doesn't make somebody that doesn't want to do that bad, but neither should anybody condemn or make somebody feel toxic or bad because they're hurting and they're trying to heal from things that have happened to them. Just like we wouldn't if somebody was sitting in a wheelchair because they just had their leg reset. We wouldn't go, oh, how stupid are you? You should have just got used to that lame leg, and been happy with it. We wouldn't have done that, and we shouldn't ever do that to somebody that's trying to heal from abuse. Anyways, if you have any questions, please post them below.